Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us today for this live stream event. My name is Rebecca, and I'm the event planner of the Microsoft Reactor New York. So just before we get started, we recommend that you check in to receive event resources. I'll be sharing a blog in that resource check-in link and maybe some other things as they come up throughout the session. So just refresh that page every so often as well. Our code of conduct, so just quickly to run through it, Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but we just ask you to be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Just be aware this session is recorded. It will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 48 to 72 hours. I'll share the link in the chat for the channel as well. If you've not been on a live stream before through YouTube, you do need to have an account created to interact in the chat. So if you want to set that up now, you can if you haven't done so already. And then today's session. So today we're joined by Gwyn, a cloud advocate here at Microsoft, and Japhlet, a student ambassador for Microsoft as well. This session will run for approximately 60 minutes with time for questions throughout. So at this time, I will let Gwyn and Japhlet take over. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's always a fantastic intro. Hi, everyone. Hello, people from in the chat. Please let us know where you're checking in from. I know we're streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, all the places. So be sure to say hi and just let us know what brought you here. Japhlet, welcome. Very, very happy to be on another stream. I know we covered some career. I think we did some resume cover letter stuff almost a month ago with Chloe. And I know you're really big into the Power Automate platform. Obviously, you're Microsoft Learn Ambassador as well. And yeah, just overall very, very excited to have you here. I know you have a pretty interesting project to show off today. But yeah, why don't we just talk about a little bit about what you do, what you like about Microsoft technologies before we get into the demo.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Gwyneth. It's always an amazing privilege to be on calls like this with you, to talk with people, to talk with the community, and to share insights with them. So I'm joining in from Nigeria. I'm Japhlet, a Gold Microsoft Learning Ambassador from Nigeria. And I'll be pulling up my slide now. So please, Gwyneth, you can help me bring that up.
There it is.
Great, thank you. It's evening here, so I'll say good evening, everybody, from wherever you're joining from. Thank you so much for joining another episode of Microsoft Reactor. And I'm Japhlet Wamu, as I mentioned earlier. I'm a Gold Microsoft Learning Ambassador. Microsoft Learning Ambassadors are community leaders who get to work with Microsoft in the Student Ambassador Program to empower people to lead other students to achieve more, accomplishing Microsoft's mission to empower everybody on the planet, specifically students, to achieve more. I'm also a computer scientist, studied computer science here in Nigeria. For me, I love talking about Power Platform, focusing majorly on Power Automate and Power Virtual Agents. I also love talking about artificial intelligence, tons of sessions around that, getting to see how artificial intelligence can solve some of the problems affecting the world today is something I really love doing. And then I build solutions making use of C#. For Microsoft has the Azure AI platform, and then it has Power Platform. So in these platforms, I get to work with the AI tools to build AI solutions. And across the year, I have had the opportunity of speaking at events like this, where I got to empower thousands and millions across Africa and generally across the world to achieve more.
That's awesome.
Uh,
It's always a privilege to have you, and I know you when you talk about these things that you build or when you write about them, because I know you write blog posts as well. It's so easy to tell the passion that you have behind it. It's not just technology, but you actually have a mission behind the stuff that you build. So that's amazing work, and again, just very glad to have you on here. I'm very excited for what you got to show us today.
Great. I'm excited too. This is one of the many projects I have got to build with Microsoft's Power Platform. Um, and in this session, I'll be walking us through how to build an automated voucher disbursement system in the case of Power Automate. But before getting started with this demo, I wanted to walk us through Microsoft's Power Platform, specifically Microsoft's Power Automate, for those who are not aware of it, then talk a little bit about how this works, and then talk about some solutions I have built with Power Automate, basically show you, and then we demo the whole solution for this session. So Microsoft Power Platform is made up of 4 tools. We have Power Apps, we have Power BI, we have Power Virtual Agents, and we have Power Automate. Now, each of these tools focus on specific areas. For example, Power Apps is focused on building enterprise solutions. Now, I mean enterprise solutions, enterprise applications. We mean applications that can be used within an organization. So let's say, for example, in my organization, I want to build an application, or I need to build an application where participants could submit responses. You just have to go to an application either on Microsoft Teams or on using the Power Apps app on their mobile device, and then you fill that application. I get a response. It could also be that I need to work with Power Automate, which basically helps you automate processes within your organization. So there are repetitive tasks, there are a bunch of things that you do over time. The same task, you get to repeat them over time. With Power Automate, you can automate this process. You don't have to do them. For example, each morning I have to send mail to everybody, or let's say weekly, I have to send mails to everybody in my organization, welcoming them to work. With Power Automate, I can automate that process instead of having to go over that process every single day, every single time. And then for Power Automate, we now have Power Automate Desktop, which gives you the opportunity to make use of robotic process automation to build solutions, to automate processes that are desktop processes. So instead of having to run these, you are running these in the cloud, but then they are within your computer. So for example, I have my SQL server, and then I can connect all of the results that are filled in that SQL with Power Automate Desktop, pick all of those responses, and then put them in an Excel sheet. And in future reactor sessions, you're going to see how this work. And then in Power Platform 2, we have Power BI, which is a visualization tool. It's an analytical tool which most persons know about. It's easy for you to visualize your data without having to write code, build your AI models, your machine learning models without having to write code. It's lots fun. And it's interesting. And then finally, in Power Platform, we have Power Virtual Agents, which gives you the ability to build your bots all without writing code. Interestingly, Power Automate can help you pick responses from your bots and then save them over to SharePoint. I'll be sharing a project I worked on, an employee engagement system I worked on, where the responses field on Power Virtual Agents with Power Automate, I picked those responses and then took them over to SharePoint. And that's one interesting thing about all of these tools that make up Microsoft's Power Platform. You can work with each of these tools together. You could decide to work with them together, or you could decide to work with them separately. And it's better together because it gets to solve more complex problems. And one thing about Power Platform is that it's meant for those who don't want to go into programming, people who love to build solutions, would not like to go into programming, they don't have an idea of programming, of coding. It's easier for them to build solutions. Citizen developers, Microsoft is taking this people into heart, accomplishing its mission, which is to empower literally everybody, no matter where they live on the planet, to achieve more. Now, moving over, I'll be talking about some of the solutions I have built with Power Automate, and I would share my screen now to show you some of the projects I have had the opportunity to work on, and what it's like building all of these solutions. So first project is for this, which will be featuring in this demo, is an automated virtual disbursement system. So let's say, for example, in my organization, I need to send, it could be an exam voucher for employees in my organization to write exams, or it could be Azure credits. With Power Automate, I can automate that process easily without having to write code. Please let me know if you can see my screen now.
We see the Power Automate use cases. It's a slide. Oh, looks like the screen just went off. Do you want to try sharing it once more?
Okay, is it back up now?
It's coming. There we go. It's up now.
Great. So this is Power Automate, where you can build all of your automations. Now, I would head over here and just run you through some of the projects. While running through our demo, I would explain some of these functions so you get to know what they do. But then here are some solutions. So first, I would be running you through this first solution, which is more of an onboarding solution. I named it Papa Johnson and Co. Johnson is a Nigerian name. So what this does is I need to onboard people in my organization. Let's say somebody joins my organization, a new employee, and then I need to give each of these employees, add them on Microsoft Teams on the Teams channel for the organization. I had to do that with Power Automate instead of having to add them, one after the other, running through the process. Now, first thing they would have to do is fill a form. So I created a form for that purpose, and then it picks the responses from the form. The response is, the form basically has 3 columns, 3 questions. First, their names, and once it picks their names, the next thing it gets
Did we lose you? Japhlet, can you hear us? It looks like you might have froze. Let me send a message here. 1 second, y'all. This is the this is what happens with live streaming.
And so what they have to do is they have to fill in their details, their first name, the last name, and then they have to fill in their email address. So the email address is for verification, just so nobody tries to get into the organization without having that unique email address. And so once it has confirmed that, if you notice the next option here confirms that.
Oh, it looks like he might have dropped completely. 1 second, we'll see if we can get it to join again. Might be having some internet issues. Rebecca, can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, I think. Oops, here we go. Hey,
we lost you for a second.
Oh, great. So the next flow here, what it does is it tries to verify if that user, if the email address entered by the user is correct. If you notice here, it's picking the email address response and then using it for the verification. And then the next thing it does is it has to tell someone in the organization, probably the head of the department or whoever is the admin in charge of that, that someone is trying to gain access. So the title is access approval from this. And then when the person or when the admin approves that, the new user or the new employee is automatically added to the Microsoft Teams channel that has been created. And so it's not easy. All I have to do is share the link with new employees, they fill it, and voila, everything gets done. I don't have to stress myself. I don't have to go over that process, again and again and again. Now, this is one solution which definitely solves a problem. Another solution I would like to show you is for those who host bootcamps or programs and they want to figure out the participation, what the participation is like. So a number of persons are participating in this. Do they get to talk about this event? Do they get to talk about this bootcamp? Here is a very simple solution. What it does is it makes it of a hashtag, and with the hashtag, it picks up new tweets from Twitter, and then once it finds a new tweet with a specific hashtag, it posts it as a message on the Microsoft Teams channel telling me that a tweet has been tweeted by so person. This is the response from the team, and the person has posted about this specific bootcamp. This solution was built for a bootcamp we held here in Edo State, which so far has empowered over 110 persons. So with this, it's easier for us to know, oh, this person is very active. This is what they feel. This is how they feel about this bootcamp. This is what they think, and all of that. And then another solution built with Power Automate I would like to show you is a voucher disbursement system, which is we're going to be working on. Now, back in February 2020, we had the opportunity of hosting a bootcamp called the Mixed Reality Bootcamp, working with the team here in Nigeria, the African Development Center team in Nigeria, and they had to get us vouchers. Now, with these vouchers, all we had to do was pick unique links from these vouchers and then share them. So instead of having to go to each user and pick these vouchers and having to impute them one after the other in each of these email addresses, we got them into an Excel sheet, and what Power Automate will do is it will pick these responses or pick these different rows from these Excel sheets and apply each of it to apply each of the values in the Excel sheet, and then sends the message over to the participants. So these are some amazing solutions. Now, in this session, as mentioned, we'll be walking through how to build this solution from scratch. So first thing you need to do, I would share my screen again. Let me know if you can see my screen again, please.
Okay, not yet.
Okay, it's coming up. I guess you can see it now.
Here we go.
Great. So first thing you need to do is head over to Microsoft Power Automate, and it's over here, flow.microsoft.com. Now for this demo, we're going to be making use of and just for the sake of this demo, these are just random codes. And then what I will do is I save this in on OneDrive, so it's easy for our solution to, pick it up. Now, here at the home page, the first page you get to see while building, when you head over to Microsoft Power Automate, you have tons of templates you can work with, but then we will not be working with templates. You can check out the tons of templates here. And then over here, you have action items. If you need to work with approvals, just like you saw during in the onboarding demo, where we had to, what we needed someone to, approve or reject submissions. Now, next thing, you head over to your create. And we're going to be creating an automated cloud flow. Again, there are different types of flows you can create. What an automated cloud flow does is these solutions work with triggers. Now, triggers are stuff that make it work. So once it notices a particular thing or a particular trigger, it carries out that activity. Work with an automated trigger. So for example, somebody fills a form, or when there's a new response, it runs the whole flow. And then you have an instant cloud flow. It could be from your application, your Power Apps application. Again, like I mentioned, you can connect all of these together. So from your Power Apps application, someone clicks a button on Power Apps, it is possible for the flow, or the flow would then run. And then you have your scheduled cloud flow, which runs at a specific time. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, whenever you want it to run. For example, the employee engagement system, which I talked about a little bit about earlier, is a scheduled cloud flow at a specific time each week. On Tuesday in the evening, the flow runs, and what it does is it sends a message to everybody in the organization: oh, it's time to take this survey. Go over to Power Apps. This is how you can access it. Go over to Power Virtual Agents. You can fill it. It's scheduled, so I don't have to bother about reminders and all of that. And then if I'm working with Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, I can create my desktop flows. So quickly we'll head over to our automated cloud flow and would give it a name. So I'll name it still coming up. Microsoft Reactor. It will be slow with this. Okay. So let's name this Microsoft Reactor demo. While this is coming up, I'll just walk you through how this solution is going to work. So first thing we want our user to do is to fill a form. And the moment they fill a form, great. So we're going to create a Microsoft form. So the moment you are going to fill this form, it's going to pick the response from the form. So just a simple form that has the name and email address. Again, it's dependent on how building your solution is dependent on how you want it to work. You could decide to work with uh, you could decide to work with an instant flow just in case you don't want participants to fill a form. You don't want them to work through the process of filling a form. You already have the details of this participant. You could just create an instant flow. But then once our participants first fill a form, so we'll have their correct details. So just name this. And then I would create questions. So let's just take in, oops, sorry about that. So first question should be the name. And then the email address. So these are the details we would need for now. What details need to be required? Great. So we head over here and head over to Power Automate and check for our form. Great. So over here, Microsoft Reactor Voucher Disbursement System. And so what wants to happen next is you get the responses from that form. So the response we want to get is again, we have to select the form and then the response ID. What this means is we're picking all of the responses submitted for each of the questions. So the entire response in the form, we are picking it. And then what we do next, once we have picked the entire response, is we want to save this. on Microsoft
Oop, looks like we might have lost you, or it's on mute. Japhlet. Uh, while we're waiting for him to connect again, can I implement this in an inventory management system? Yeah, you could build something like that around this kind of technology. I'm sure he'll have like a little bit more specifics on how you could actually do that. But yeah, it's a suite of tech that's actually quite capable, so you can get very creative with that kind of stuff. So you just dropped. If anyone else has any questions, but yeah, I just wanted to say hi to people in the chat. I see a bunch of people checking in. That's awesome. I think we're having some internet issues, sort of some pains with live streaming and such. So we'll see what goes on. Let me take a look at any other comments here we've got. Glad to be part of this event. That is awesome. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Sumit, hello. How are you doing? We do have some links in here. I'm going to give a call out to this one. This is a blog post on the demo that Japhlet is actually showcasing today. So we could take a look at that, please. And yeah, learn about this very capable Power Platform, which is awesome for people who aren't very necessarily interested in learning to program or you don't want to learn, right? There are these systems and stuff that you can create with no code. Oh, you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, great. Sorry, I'll share my screen again. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay, we can see it.
I would see it.
Oh, it just disappeared.
It just disappeared. Okay, I'll be sharing that again.
Still nothing.
Not up yet. Okay. Let me know if it's up now, please.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Great. So we have created our form and we have the name and email address already. So what we're doing is we have picked these different response. Now we have an Excel sheet, and in this Excel sheet, we already have the details that were shared with us. So again, these links are no longer valid, but then we're going to be making use of it. Now, in our organization, or for whatever we're trying to make use of the voucher, for what we're trying to give out the voucher for, we should receive it in this format. So basically, what we need is the redeem link, and we don't need these details, so I'll just take them out. And then for this Excel sheet to be accessible by Power Automate, what I would do is I would make sure it's in a table format. So I would change the first row to a table. So just before that, let's add new columns. And then this column for the email address. Great. So for this first column, I'll make it a table. My table already has headers, so I'll continue with it. And I think So just do that again. Select the specific columns, want tables. Great. Great, and we have it now. So okay, so sorry, I just need to change the colors. I think that's the reason why we can't see. Okay, good. So first column is for the redeem links, and then we'll have the full name and the email address. Now, whatever response is filled in, what we want Power Automate to do is to update our Excel sheet. So head over and look for that specific Excel sheet in our OneDrive for Business. So here it's named Mixed Reality Bootcamp 2021. And then we'll search for this specific file, which you can find here. And this is the specific table. So notice here, let's go over to the Excel sheet again. And over here, we want it to
We might have lost him again. Rebecca, can you hear me? Are you good to hear me? I just want to make sure, like, my audio's not.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Do we want to perhaps look into
rescheduling?
Rescheduling. So I feel like we're
yeah, maybe. It just seems like everything drops a lot, so that the audience isn't getting the full
it's hard to
experience.
Continuity there. I apologize, chat. Like we're having a little bit of an issue today with StreamYard. But I think we could probably get this rescheduled pretty quick. I could talk with Japhlet. But yeah, let's give it a few minutes. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I see someone says it motivates me to learn more about cloud. Yes, cloud is fantastic. There's, as Japhlet was showing us here, we have services that you can use that you don't have to necessarily know how to code program, right, to build on full solutions. And that's all thanks to cloud, right? Looks like he is back. Let's give this a try once more. Hopefully we can get through the rest of the demo without interruptions. And we'll see what happens here. All right, let me bring up your screen again. There we go. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see now? So the first thing we do is updates. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I'll just run over the process again because of the interruptions. So first thing, the location, I said OneDrive for Business. And then we're picking OneDrive because that's where it's saved. Under this is it. And then the specific table, the key columns we'll be working with this time is the participant's email address. I guess this should be updated. Yes. And we impute this here. So I would save this. And so let's test it out. So let's run over to our Excel, our form, and I would share this. I'm shorting the link and let's see. So what I would do is I would open up a new browser tab. And so we can fill this.
Oh, I think we lost your screen again.
Yeah, so I'm trying to open up a new browser tab so I can show you how to. So we need to fill this in a new browser tab. We have to fill it in that specific browser tab, then it takes us to like the admin and page instead. Great, so I'll paste in the link. And great, so I have this opened up, so I'll just fill in the details and then my email address. And then I'll submit this. And I'll just share the other screen again.
Well, I think we lost them once more. I'm gonna have to end this one. We're gonna reschedule, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll come up with a different date to maybe sometime, hopefully soon. I do apologize for that. Some sort of internet issue there. But yeah, we'll have to reschedule this. But do take a look at the blog post that is there. There's content covering the entire solution that Japhlet was building there. And we got about halfway there, I would say this, but we can definitely revisit this. It's available for download, so it can be revisited later. Yeah, I mean, the recording will be available on YouTube, and then there is a blog post that has sort of everything that covers all the details there. But Rebecca, let's reschedule this one. Let's call it.
Okay. Yeah. And then this is very uncommon, y'all.
Yeah.
If you've tuned in with us before, it's not super awesome. But, you know, when we're hosting in multiple locations and in the virtual world, internet can sometimes be a bit unpredictable. We're at the mercy of it. If you are not familiar, if you're tuning in from one of the many GPS channels, this is part of the Reactor programming. We have a calendar of events that are regional. There's 12 physical spaces, and therefore we host virtual sessions out of all of those. So different times around the world, depending on where you are. So visit us at microsoftreactor.com to check out those events. You can find us on Twitter. We have a newsletter sign up that we just will, you sign up based on your region, so time zone, and then we just send out one monthly letter with whatever we have coming up on the calendar. So you get a little bloop of all of that information. So aka.ms/reactor email sign up.
All right, and we're gonna end this one. Thank you all so much. But stay posted for the reschedule. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, and I'll let you know when when it's back to reschedule. Thank you all.